Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 17. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday, Motivation and Inspiration, and today I'm going to talk about the 4 Ds that I constantly and consistently follow in my life. And those 4 Ds are dream, drive, determination, and dedication. Now, I did add an additional D to it, which is discipline, but I spoke about that last week. So today, we're going to talk about the 4 Ds that, I've always followed. Now, for me, I don't always necessarily have dreams. I have goals. And when I accomplish my goals, then it's on to the next one, right? So I've always followed the 4 Ds when it comes to accomplishing my big goals. Now, you have to dream about it all the time. You have to have the necessary drive to get things done. You have to have the determination no matter what obstacles you face. And you have to have the dedication to getting better at what you do no matter what it is. So those things are imperative to how you become the greatest at what you do. And these are just, my thoughts and feelings on it. Everyone has their own thoughts on what it takes to really get to where they want to be as far as their goals and what they want to achieve. Now, for me, a dream is something that you may have, but it has to turn into reality by actually doing the work. Now, your goals may be too big for someone else to believe, but if you believe in yourself, anything can happen in a nutshell if you think about it. Everyone has their moment, and as long as you're constantly working towards something, the results will always show down the line. So, for me, my journey has been for years. And obviously, I'm not where I want to be yet. And even when I get to where I want to be, I'm still going to continue to dream about certain things of what I want to do and what I want to accomplish. Now, in regards to drive, having the drive honestly has to be in you. You don't necessarily just develop that over time. You have to want it more than anyone else or anything else. So, the way I keep my drive going is there's always someone working harder than me. So that's how I keep my drive going. And it's not necessarily that I'm in competition with anyone else. I'm always in competition with myself. And that's what makes some of the bad, crappy days get a little bit better. So there are days like I don't have that internal drive, but I stop myself and I think and I go, well, even if I only do 30 minutes of work today instead of the hour or 2 hours that I normally do, it's still one step closer to achieving my goals, right? So, the determination is something that you have to have in you also. Honestly, I am not going to lie to you. There has to be a point where you're going to eliminate those distractions that are going on in your life that are around you that are going to keep you from doing the work that you need to do. And honestly, when you want it bad enough, you're going to make time to do the work and get things done. It's just that simple. Well, we all have things going on in our lives. There is no denying that. But if you have people around you that are striving for greatness and they're pushing themselves to the limit and they're going, full-fledged and they're balancing out their lives also in between that, honestly, making excuses are not going to fly with those people that are, going hard for what they want. The next part is the dedication, right? Now, when you have the dedication to perfecting your craft, you're always going to be striving for greatness no matter what. And honestly, it's hard to stay dedicated to things sometimes, but if you want to get better at your craft and you want to better your life and be able to really live on your own terms, that dedication is something that you must have. Honestly, you must have it. The journey is not easy. It's never going to be easy. And the work is surely not going to do itself. So for me, these 4Ds that I live by, they are honestly gold for me when it comes to, writing blogs, doing these podcasts, writing my books, recording my audio books, and so many other things that I'm constantly working on. I'm, an author, a podcaster, blogger, an entrepreneur in a way, a very small one when it comes to, my books and, having a clothing line now and things of that nature. So, these 4Ds I apply to my life as much as I can. And, I try to be consistent with those things that I just talked about and what I just mentioned. You can have your dreams are in your sleep, but those dreams have to turn into reality when you wake up, and you have to, know that you're going to go after it. You have to, think about, other people and how hard they're working. And sometimes, when you think about that, it makes you think, okay, I'm going to go hard too. Now, I'll use a perfect example of this. There was a former NBA player. His name is Kevin Garnett. And for those who know and who know sports, he's one of the most intense basketball players, and he was one of the most ferocious basketball players, in NBA history. Right now, he's retired now, and he has other business and entrepreneurial things that he's doing. He's still glued to the game of basketball. He still watches. He had his show Area 21 on TNT certain nights, and he does his interviews and things of that nature, right? So he was on a podcast that's done and produced by former NBA players named Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and he talks about how he stayed dedicated to his craft and his drive that he has, and how maniacal he really is and was, during that time he was playing in the NBA for 20 years. And he goes in depth into how he would wake up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and go run on the beach. Now everyone's thinking to themselves, okay, it's the off season, you're going to take time for a little bit and then you're going to get back to work, but what are you doing up at 4 or 5 a.m. running on the beach? He has a home in Malibu, and for him, living in California, in his mind, he's thinking to himself, if I'm waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning, that means that someone on the East Coast is already working already at 7 a.m. So if he's waking up before them, now he's ahead of the game, right? So that's just like one of the examples that, I can say where that dream, drive, determination, and dedication comes in, right? I'll use another example. Let's talk about Kobe Bryant, right? May he rest in peace. And, for me, I still can't believe he's gone. But anyway, I won't get into my emotive aspect of that. But anyway, Kobe Bryant talks about what, his off season consisted of and looked like, right? Now, he lived in another county away from, LA and the glitz and glam and the lights and all that stuff. He lived in Newport Coast. Well, he lived in Newport Beach, and then he moved to a bigger home in Newport Coast. No, I'm not answering how I knew that. Anyway, he would wake up at 4 in the morning and go do a workout, let's say 5 to 7, and then take a break, go back at it 9 to 11, and then take another break, then go at it 1 to 3, and then he would go 4 to 6. So he would do 2-hour workouts, whether that would be, shooting drills, lifting weights, running, whatever it was. He was working out 4 times a day, right? He worked out 4 times a day. And I would guess he did that probably 5 days a week on a regular basis. This is the craft that he, and the time and the craft that he put into being who he was. That's what it took for him to be great. That's what it took for him to win 5 NBA championships. Because he wanted to be better than everyone else. And it showed every night he went on the court. He tore his Achilles, still came back and scored 60 points in his final NBA game. Right? So that's just, another example of that dream, drive, determination, dedication. Another example I can, use, and I follow him. His name is Eric Thomas. He's, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, businessman, and, his story, is very inspiring and motivating. And, I follow him and Gary Vaynerchuk and Inky Johnson and Simon Sinek and Jim Quick. And, I follow so many different entrepreneurs, Tom Bilyeu, Lisa Bilyeu. Like I follow a lot of different entrepreneurs. They give me different pieces that I need. Les Brown. But anyway, back to E.T., right? E.T. is, considered one of the best motivational speakers, not only in America, but in the world. He wakes up at 3 a.m. every day. He does it because he's trying to be ahead of the game. He's planning everything. He's doing everything that he needs to do to stay on top of that mountain. He knows that Tony Robbins is not that far behind him. He knows that Les Brown is still doing a lot, to keep his brand going. But E.T. is really a guy that he's saying to himself, I'm going to post content on YouTube before anyone wakes up. By the time most people wake up, I'm the first guy they're going to see on YouTube. Because, well, most people are on YouTube. That's the first thing they go on in the morning. Most people go on Instagram in the morning when they check their phones. Or on Facebook. But he's on YouTube and Instagram the moment you wake up. So you're seeing him first. He's giving you a motivational clip for the morning. He's telling you his story. He's talking about what it takes to be great. So that's once again where those 4Ds come in. Now for me, I'll say that I do rest myself. I do get 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. And yes, over the past few years, I was the guy that was awake till 4 or 5 in the morning. I have had plenty of those and would go to sleep and wake back up at 10 o'clock and go at it again. Because that's just how driven I am. And yes, like I keep saying, I'm a little crazy, right? Because, in 5 years, I've written 28 books. So yeah, I am a little nuts. And I have a podcast that I'm speaking to you on right now. And I write blogs 3 days a week. And I do YouTube videos. And I've created a clothing line. And I've written scripts that have, gone places and been seen by people. So yeah, I'm immersed in so many different things. So for me, yeah, I do a lot. And I do all that I can to stay focused. And it's all in organization. And yes, I also do audiobooks. I've recorded 5 audiobooks so far. This year is a goal of recording more audiobooks to get that realm out there. So there's a lot on my plate too. And I'm not saying be me. I'm saying do what you need to do, but try to follow those 4Ds and try to, keep things in perspective. So the first is dream, but turn dreams into reality. Drive, keep yourself going. Keep yourself immersed in what you're trying to do. Determination. You have to be determined on a regular basis to get to where you want to be. There are going to be days you're not going to want to do crap. There are days I don't even want to walk 2 minutes to my gym. It's literally across my complex. But I push myself because I know it's going to be worth it for me to be not only to be physically healthy, but I also got to be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy also. And that dedication, like the dedication that it takes to really achieve what you want to achieve and really get your brand to where you want to be, that in itself will be the telltale signs of how much you want it and how bad you want it. So hopefully, this podcast helps you to stay motivated, helps you to stay inspired, helps you to, keep yourself going. Every week I give you a new letter and a new way of, thinking about things. And I want to continually do that for you guys because, it's not easy in this world. The distractions are there. The distractions are there for me too. But I know that there's always an end result, and you want that end result to be great. So with that said, that's my podcast for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. Friday coming up is Book Insight, and then obviously next week it starts the whole process of Mondays with Mello, and next week there'll obviously be another motivational podcast that I will be posting. So have a good week, guys. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.